We are now live. And we're early. And we'll see who comes in. Hey, what's happening, Tim? Looks like you're the only one here, buddy. Well, it's not quite 8:30 yet. So how's things going, Tim? I was working on the Firebird yesterday. Actually, I was working on it pretty much all week out in the heat. Oh, did he? That's all right. It never seems like it's the right time to have a live. There's so many going on. Yeah, it was pretty rough last week working on the car. It was actually pretty nice today. I didn't feel like a drowned rat after getting in. Nope, back with nobody. Nope, somebody else came back. Yeah, that's what I do. Are you going to the No Name Nationals, Tim? I wanted to ask you that the other day, so I wasn't sure if you were going or not. Yeah, I know that feeling. Nobody does my job either when I'm not there. That sucks. Well, maybe something will change and you'll be able to get to go. Yeah, they're going to be in a world of hurt where I work at because I'll be gone for the No Names and then I'm back for 4 days and then I leave for another week to go to cruising the coast in Mississippi. So, should be interesting. That sucks. That just sucks. And then all that stress and nonsense is on you because you're the one that has to do it all. Yeah, because you're the lead guy, so it all falls on you. Yeah, that sucks. Well, that'll be nice if you can do that. You get to a point where you're just too old to deal with the nonsense anymore. I'm 52 and I feel that way. Hey, what's going on, Marty? How was the demo derby? Was it pretty good? Did Austin enter his Monte Carlo? Well, that's right. I was going to ask you if you got your. That's right. You didn't get your flywheel back yet. You sent it out to be balanced. So I was wondering if you got that back. Wow. Nice. How many rounds did they go? Did they go 2 rounds, or did they just shut it down because this guy just couldn't be destroyed in his Imperial? I didn't think they let C-Body still do that. That's classic. What a tank. Oh, they do it at Lebanon. Okay. Oh, it was a mid-60s, so it was a big old tank then. I'm surprised they let that thing in there. full frame monstrosity. I was in the Anything Goes class. Oh, you took a lot of video. One of them Chrysler station wagons would probably be pretty good in that too. Like, only because they're bigger than the Imperial is. So they just don't have a lot of body structure because they're so open. Now, had issues with the engine. That's surprising. Usually those 440s just keep on going. Even with freaking coolant and steam blowing out of them. That's a bummer. You should have a demo derby with Teslas. Wouldn't that be interesting? Everything catching on fire and burning. You pile them up in the middle of this arena and have a great big freaking bonfire of Teslas after they all burn up from getting hit. That's right. You worked today, didn't you? I forgot. You're not off till Tuesday. Well, hopefully your flywheel will be done Tuesday and you can get that transmission on. Get that all done. Get that transmission. Just check that bell housing with the transmission. Make sure the thing's not going to hang up so you can get it in there easy. Because if it's anything like my Pontiac was, it's probably going to have to be filed open a little bit. Oh, yeah, I saw it. That was pretty good. Probably a good thing you put that out. Keep people interested. Just sucks that you couldn't get the damn DNA. Everything went wrong. I'm glad the pilot bearing worked. That worked nice. That's pretty funny how the input shaft just sits there and spins on that thing. That's a lot nicer than having that bushing in there. Yes. That was pretty good. And then I backed it up with the Riley, I'm not going to be around for a while. I haven't gotten anything done video. Yeah, Kennison. That was good too. No, it was a good one. We got to beat that one header, don't we? Clear the Z-bar. I keep forgetting that. We should get that out, heat it up, and smash it some more. Get some more clearance on that thing. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have one, unfortunately. I wish I did. We can try and heat it up a little more with the MAP gas. No, Tom doesn't have one. No, if Tom had one, it would be in the garage. And we'd have it already. Dave doesn't have one. Like I said, we can try it with the propane again, but we just got to really put the, just sit there with it for a long time to get it glowing real good and just hammer it. I mean, we did put a dent in it the last time. It's just, we probably just need to, if we had more heat, it'd be easier. Because instead of beating on it 10 times, we could probably only beat on, could probably just beat on it once with a torch. We really don't have that much more to go. Screw this man, boo. Why are you booing me? You're the one putting out depressing videos if you're not going to be around, and then you don't. Depressing videos if you're not going to be around, and then showing us stuff you haven't gotten done. Yeah, well, we think we have enough clearance. You're right there. So what's going on, Riley? When are you heading to the beach? You leaving tomorrow? Or are you already there? Oh, are you? Cool. How did the Hoop D make it? Do all right? All right, Marty. It made it surprisingly. You should have been cruising in comfort in that thing. No, I'm sure. It's a nice riding car. I'm surprised you didn't fall asleep. The seats, cooled seats and heated seats and everything else. Just a little bit. Well, you probably got it really heated up. That's probably the first long trip it's been on, so it's probably dripping a little bit from somewhere, I'm sure. How'd it do on gas? It should have got pretty good gas mileage. Oh, well, that stuff's just leaking, seeping. Wow. Pulled in on E. Do you have enough to get to the gas station? That's crazy. How big's the fuel tank in that thing? 26 miles to the gallon. That's not bad. $22 gallon. Wow. That's pretty impressive. That's pretty nice when you don't have to stop. No, all you got to do now is just make it back home. Wow. That's crazy. So that got better mileage than the Subaru. Huh. Interesting. I wonder why the difference, unless the tank's bigger in the Lexus. Can't imagine the tank's that small in the Subaru. I would think it's at least a 15 or 20 gallon. I wonder if that's just what the difference is. Wow. That's crazy that it's only revving that at 90. That is nuts. That's just above idle, for God's sakes. Wow. Yeah, I can't believe that. 2,200 RPM at 90 miles an hour. Good God. Only one cop. That's surprising. Huh. Yeah, no traffic. Well, you were making good time then because you didn't have any traffic issues or nothing. Okay, of course. Hey, driving through Virginia. It's like the never ending state. Yeah, that's not bad at all. Yeah, that's not bad at all with stops and stuff. Well, now you know for the next time you just need to get one of those coolers and then get one of them little portable bathroom jug things so you can just keep right on rolling. Oh, not much, Twisted Mopar. See, you got your 500 subscribers too, the same as I did. Just been working on the Firebird, trying to get it into some paint. So getting close. We're pretty much down to the point of putting some build prime on it and blocking it. Congratulations on your 500 also. That's pretty cool that we got that. Yeah, I was too. I was really, when I saw that, I was like, wow, that made me pretty excited. Well, that's cool. Now you can bring the duster and you can run it. Yeah, I was shocked when I saw it. I was like, wow, it just kind of come out of nowhere. But hey, I got my 500, so yeah. Riley, he knows better. Yeah, exactly. Be nice to meet you too. Riley, he knows way better. He knows better. His duster it's a whole lot more than my Firebird. No, it's not a 318. Yeah, that's right. You're building that other engine for it. Don't rush it because you want to try and put some time on it too. Dial it in a little bit. You don't want to rush around trying to get that done. We only got what, less than 60 days till the no names. So you keep seeing it up on John Wilburn's wall. Now you're running 620s. I mean, you're going good with the small engine. What do you think you're going to run with the 512? You think you break into the high fives with that, or mid fives? Think you're going to have to reset the suspension up and everything on that? You're going to be putting out a little bit more power. Because you're thinking you can hook and then you can't. Because yeah, that saves parts too. You get out there and get stupid. Next thing you know, you're sending rear end parts and transmission parts and everything else all over the place. And of course, going to a bigger engine, what's the weakest link? Oh, okay. Kind of transfers it through the whole chassis then, so it isn't too bad. I'd love to run a drag car, but I just don't have. I'd love to have a drag only car, but it'd be too tempting for me to drive it on the street. And you could run a street strip car, but plus now I'm out of room in the garage, so. What size tire are you running on it now? Yeah, 10.5 might. If you're dropping in size, that could be a challenge. Especially if you have like a 12 or 13-inch wide tire or wider. Oh, okay. Yeah, so you got a 14.5-inch wide. Yeah, that's gonna be dicey. But some guys can really, if you get the suspension set right, guys really hook hard on 10.5 tires, which is kind of surprising. It's just got a lot of suspension work and testing and tuning. But then the other bitch is that every track prep is completely different than the other. Oh, it's what it was set up for, 18.5. That's a big tire too. That's a lot of meat to turn. And if you go to a 10.5 tire, that's going to be a lot shorter. What, be 28 inches tall, probably 28 or 29 inches tall. So that's going to bring the RPMs up. Now 456s you got in it. It's a nice 8th mile setup. Hey, what's up, Slow Small Block Ford? I don't know, Riley. There's another live going on. We're just BSing about different stuff. Oh, there's quite a few, trust me. We're talking about Twisted Mopar's Duster. $10.20 at 130. Wow, you got that thing down in weight, that's for sure. Well, if you can, then you can take it, Riley. Get that 427 in there. Power windows. Does it have air conditioning too? That's pretty cool. Full carpet's nice. That's a pretty sweet ride for a race car. Oh, wow, carpet in the trunk too. A moonroof. Hey, what's up, old man? How you doing? What do you have, a Mustang Slow Small Block Ford? That's good. '85 hatch. Oh, so you got a 4i. I had an '86 4i. Fuel injected. '85 was what? Last year carburetor. Fairmont wagon. Man, that'd be a sleeper. Yeah, the carburetors are a little simpler. The fuel injection was pretty reliable on that car. I couldn't complain. I never really did anything to it. I put a catback system on it, and that was it. And those Fairmonts are cool because you can put all the Mustang stuff on them. Put the 8.8s in them and put the 302, especially in a wagon. And then you could get those wagons with sticks. And it came with 5 speeds. There's endless possibilities with those Fairmonts. And even those 4-door LTDs are the same way. Those, what are they, 84, 85 LTDs, the little tiny ones, the LTD2, I guess it was. You could even get those in kind of a hopped up version. Wood grain. So it was a Squire. Oh boy, that's even better yet. Still a cool car though. It's crazy to say that a Fairmont's a cool car now, but it wasn't then. It had the look. I know what you mean. Some cars just have that look. We see that all the time when we're out walking around. We'll see a car and it says, boy, that thing just has a look. Yes, I did. The hood's sealed up. Cow's done. We did the front bumper tonight. Or today we did the front. We got half the bumper. I ran out of primer. So I got like 3/4 of the bumper done. So I got to do the other side. We had to do some filler work on the hood because there was dents and stuff. And from wherever it was sat, it was probably used as a workbench. So we got that all done. So we're moving along. The only thing left to do is the scuff up the front fenders and the valance because I already did those a while ago. And get the build prime sprayed on it. So I'm trying to get the build prime on it this week so we can start blocking it. Because I told my buddy maybe we, trying to shoot for this weekend to paint it, but it's going to be cutting it close. So I don't know. We'll see what we get done. And I don't want to rush around trying to get things done on it. So mistakes happen. Yeah, tell me about it. Hell, there was marks in the roof from where tires were laying on the roof of it that I could never get out. It just etched into the paint for wherever it's at. So I don't really know the history on this car, and it had a inspection sticker on it from 1987. So I don't know if it was driven in between there or not, but 15 Fords at one time. I had 2 Fords. I had a 70 F100 pickup, and I had my 86 Mustang. And those are the only 2 I've ever owned. Oh, we got everything seam sealed too, so that's all. We got everything seam sealed up, so that's all done. Because we dug all the seam seal out of the roof rails and everything. Yeah, it probably was. So I'm really hoping. I doubt we'll get it into paint this weekend. I don't think the planets are going to align, unfortunately. Because I got to work and then I got to come home, and you know how that is. Hey, Frank, how you doing? So I got the I picked up the paint. Yeah, I'm not going to rush it. We're getting too close to the wire now, you know. There's no reason to start screwing stuff up. I did get the paint. I got the primer and everything, all the reducers and everything. So we were going to do single stage, and I decided we're going to do base coat, clear coat. So it's just going to probably be easier. Hey, New Guys Guitar, what's happening? Colleen, what's going on? So we're going to do base coat, clear coat, which is going to be a whole lot. I'm just afraid that if we do the single stage and we have an issue with it, being it's a metallic, you can't buff it, you scuff and buff it, because it's going to destroy the metallic in it. So it'll be way easier. It'll be way easier with the base coat, clear coat. So hey, what's going on, Mark? How you doing? Saw you had the old Power Wagon out in your video. Is that what size it is, Riley? A 10.5? I mean, you can run it, but I don't know. I mean, they probably make dual drilled flywheels for that. I mean, you could probably run a smaller one, but I mean, it would probably hold. I mean, I can't see it would probably be a big problem. I mean, if you put slicks on it, it might be. Yeah, single stage is a lot cheaper, but you know, it's just the base coat's a lot more forgiving. Plus, it's going to look a lot nicer with the base coat on it, because that'll just bring all that metallic out in it. Well, if they advertise a 90% increase, I mean, I don't think you probably won't have that much of an issue with it. You would just have to run a smaller flywheel, because I don't know if they make a 168 tooth flywheel that's drilled for both 11 and 10.5 inch clutch. They might, but I don't. I thought Chevrolet used to drill them different, but I can't remember anymore. I mean, you could run a 153 tooth flywheel. I mean, it'll still work because your engine's internally balanced. You'll just have to run the smaller starter. And you probably have to run a different bell housing, depending on which bell housing you have. Because they make two different bell housings. Because they make one for 10.5 inch, and they make one for 11 inch clutch. If I remember right. Well, I know they do. All right, see you, New Guys Guitar. Oh, you picked up an extra shift tonight. Well, that sucks. Did you get anything done this weekend, Mark? Oh, man. What year's your F100, Frank? Is the key in the dash on that, or is it in the column? Oh, they sell dual drilled, Riley. Now, that'll be the way to go. I mean, if they got a dual drilled, well, why not use it if the clutch is still good? You know, it's right there. I mean, that'll work out pretty good. Because then you can run if it's a 168 tooth flywheel, well, then you can run, because I'd have to look at your bow housing to see what it is. And you could run the bigger starter and everything. So that would be way better. Because most manuals had cast iron nose cone on the starters. Yeah, that sucks when you can't get things apart. No hammer or paper clip. Yeah, those outer rings are a pain. I had a 70, which is pretty much the same. You need a spanner, a special spanner wrench to get them out. I always used a freaking screwdriver and a hammer and just tapped it around. Should be a little button on the tumbler. You just push in the little button and it should just pop out. Yeah. Well, try it out, Riley. I mean, it's the right spline and everything. It's 26 spline, so it's it's all set up. I mean, it's sitting there and it looks good, so why not? What's the worst that can happen? You can let the clutch out and it won't go nowhere. But I can't imagine you'd have a problem with it. I know on the 302, the 302s and the Camaros, they used to run a 10.5-inch clutch in those. But I mean, that's not making the torque that 427 is going to make. So it's kind of an apples to oranges kind of comparison. But they did use them in high performance cars. I miss my old Ford truck. It's too bad it just rotted to pieces. That truck was so bad when I popped the hood, it ripped the freaking hood hinge right out of the freaking underwell. Then the guy wouldn't inspect it anymore after that. Kind of hurt my feelings. Okay. Is he looking for one with a scoop on it, Twisted Mopar, or is he just looking for just a flat fiberglass one? Or I'll keep an eye out. See if I run across anything. Oh, jeez. Well, look at it this way, Frank. At least they know that it's getting used. As long as it isn't smelly stuff, you're probably all right. Did Brian get that running yet, Twisted Mopar? I saw he was working on the rear end in the video, but I don't know if he had it running yet or not. I'm so behind on watching videos. I come in from working on a car and I just fall asleep. You going to use the shifter that's on that transmission, Riley, or are you going to put another shifter in it? You'll use that one. Did you get a shift handle with it? Or do you have to get one of those? Flat one? Okay. So he's just going to hack a hole in it, then twist and Mopar. Yeah, I know he's got a tunnel ram on that. Why would you want to cover up all that goodness? Maybe that's what you need to do, Riley. You need to hack the hole in the Skylark hood and put a tunnel ram on that 427. That would be cool. Wow. You're no fun, Riley. Boo. Oh, it does run now, Twisted Mopar. That's good. I got to catch up on people's videos. I'm just so far behind on stuff. Thanks, Colleen. I can't believe you don't want to put a tunnel ram on that, Riley. Or don't you want to deal with two carburetors? You know you can get ones with single carbs. No, I'm pretty close, Frank. I sub to a lot of channels. It's just so hard to keep up. You know how that is. Plus, I've been busy doing my Firebird, and that's taken up a lot of time. Every night I get home from work, I go out and work on that, and then I come in and just tired. Cool. Did you have to re-weld the purchase on that Twisted Mopar to get the pinion angle right? Because he was talking about cutting the purchase off the rear and re-welding them so that he had the right angle because it's jacked up so high. I know those big the shackles in the back are. I bet that really put the kibosh to the pinion angle on that thing. How big are the tires on the back of that Twisted Mopar? I know they're freaking huge. They're monstrous. I think he said once before, but I can't remember. It's going to have that thing's got a look too. That thing is straight out of the 70s. Yeah, I know. Tell me about it. Cool. Yeah, I know. I'd like to. I can't stop on the car right now. I just got to keep pushing. Yeah, I can tell. Have a good one, Frank. Too bad you're at work, buddy. I feel bad. But thanks for coming in. Wow. Boy. And just imagine what that had done under acceleration. Ooh. Yeah, that wouldn't have been any good. Now, is he running an adjustable pinion snubber? Yeah, it has the look, that's for sure. Especially with the side pipes and everything. And then to add the stuff sticking out of the hood. It's like a cherry on the top of the sundae, you know? Yeah, I hope that runs good for him. He's put a lot of work into that thing. Yeah, that's a whole lot better setup there. I had a 70 Monte Carlo, and it was a 350 4-speed car. It was actually a factory 4-speed car, and it was one of 839 cars built. Not that that means much anything because it was pretty much hammered, but they had it jacked up in the back end so high that they took the upper control arms and they cut them in half and spread them out and put pieces of C-channel over them and welded them back together. They had air shocks with air shock extensions. And then you remember them cylinder tube things you used to put like on the spring perch in the back, and you set your spring down on top and bolt it up. It was, yeah, it was crazy. And they did that so I guess they could get rid of the vibration in it from it being jacked up so high. He's got super stock springs. Well, that should help because they're meant to they separate in the back or tighter up front. Where did Riley go? Is he looking up tunnel rams for his Buick? Oh, don't they function? That sucks. You know, what's the sense in having side pipes if they don't work? I've been looking for side pipes for the Firebird. My wife's not so keen on that idea. But I found a set of the old Thrush, the aluminum ones. By the time we got to them on Marketplace, they were gone already. Then we thought about making our own side pipes. The problem with the side pipes, though, you choke it down. It probably only goes into like a 2-inch pipe to make them work. So you'd actually have to uncap it just to open it up a little bit. That's the only problem. Most of those Thrushes were only like 2-inch or 1 7/8 pipe. Yeah, we were going to get 4-inch pieces of pipe like you would for like a truck. And you can get elbows and you can get the turnouts and just weld, figure out your length and just weld it all together. And then you just have to adapt it into your exhaust system. So Just weld her up and paint it black with some header paint and mount them up. They'll look like vet ones, but they'll just be, or the show tubes like Hooker used to sell. But you'll just have one inlet going under the front fender. Problem is you have to drop down a 2-inch pipe, but then you go into 4. Yeah, it looks cool with the pipes on it. It does. It's amazing how expensive those things are, especially the old Thrush ones. If you find them in good shape, man, guys are getting $500, $600, $700, $800 for them. Nuts. I know Patriot still sells them. They sell the show tube ones like the Hookers, but I'm not sure. I know they have. I know the one. 3 of them are dummies, and one of them is actually for the exhaust, and I think it's only a 2-inch pipe on it. Because I looked into them too, but I probably won't put any on. I'll probably just run regular exhaust on it. I don't need my wife getting out of the car and then burning her ankle up on it, which is probably what would happen. Oh boy. Ugh. I need to quit yawning. So who's all still in here? I know Twisted Mopar is. Who else is? It says we got 8 people in here. Oh, Colleen's here. I don't know where Riley went. Hey, Rich is here. What's happening, Rich? Oh, you're lurking. What's up, Benny? How you doing? So how's things going, Rich? We're getting a lot closer. We got the hood and primer, cowl panel and primer. We got about 3/4 of the front bumper. We pulled that off today, and we got that in primer. So we're getting pretty close. Just got to rough up the front fenders and the valance and spray some Build Prime on it. I got the paint. We decided to go base coat, clear coat, because it's just going to be so much easier to do it. Yeah, I know that feeling. I'm squeezing in as much car time as I can. Still uses R12. Well, at least his AC's nice and cold, Benny. Do you have a surplus somewhere hidden? Because I put R12 back in my Chevelle. Yeah, we're on a roll. I was hoping to have it in primer this weekend, but it just didn't work out that way. So I was hoping to get it in paint by next weekend, but I don't think that's going to happen. And I don't want to rush around trying to get it done. Yeah, I put R12 back in my Chevelle, Benny. I ended up buying like a 30-pound bottle with 28 pounds left in it. So I got enough to last me a lifetime for that car. Old Delta. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I really sanded on the bumper because the one bumper end was original. And it was all pitted up, and I pretty much got everything out of it. So I primed that tonight or today. So we'll see what that looks like. And I used a primer it's flexible. So on that plastic, it should be okay on that. So we'll check it out tomorrow when I get home. Oh, man. Well, that sucks. Got about 20 cans. So I had to screw around trying to get the clutch off. Did you have enough room to get in there with the tool and everything to pull it off? I'm not sure how tight those things are. Usually put the damn thing right in front of the fan shroud so you can't get the damn thing off. All right, Colleen, I'll see you. Have a good one. Thanks for coming in. Yeah, Rich, we're trying to figure out Tom's car because he had some running hot issues just going into Carlisle with the AC on. Oh, that makes it easy, Benny. That's nice. You just move the upper part of it and you're set. But we're trying to figure out what we're going to do on that, Rich, because started running warm. Yeah, R12 is great. It's awesome in the Chevelle. As soon as you hit the switch and it starts going, it's cold. So much better than 134. But we're trying to figure out, well, he's going to try a fan clutch, I think, Rich. He's going to put another fan clutch on it because we're wondering if that's taking a doo-doo. And he's looking at aluminum radiators. Wow. Now you have, yeah, he's running 134. Yeah. That actually works pretty good in that. I just think that 134 seems to Somebody had told me that it's a little warmer in the condenser than 12, so I don't know if that's actually right or not. Now, what kind of wagon do you have, Benny? Is that? I thought you had a '67 Cutlass wagon. Yeah, 134 sucks. It just, unless you do all the changes, get the smaller. You got to get a condenser that's set up for it. In our cars, you got to change the setting on the POA valve for the pressure. It's all you got. You well, if you can get the POA valve off. Yeah, I was almost wondering that too. He's talking about putting a fan on it, but a pusher, but I don't know if that's going to do any good or not. He's got a 3-row radiator in it. Yeah, that's what we were thinking. He was looking at an aluminum one that's a 2-row. Of course, they're 2 rows, but they're as big as a 4-row. I told him, I said, well, maybe that's the way to go. Yeah, but don't you need smaller tubes too, Benny, for the 134? Because you can't run the big, the R12 ones have the big round tubes in them. I think you got to run like a serpentine style condenser, don't you, for 134? Yeah, you'll have a lot more cooling with those 2 big rows because the rows are what, 1.5 inches wide, so it's equal to a 4-core. I told him that's probably the way to go. Really, is to put the radiator in it. I think he's going to try the fan clutch just to see before he spends the money on the radiator. Which, and I can't blame him. I mean, you never know. But I just think the AC is just putting an extra load on it. That it's just a little too much. And the other thing is that 360's bored 60 over, so it could be making a little bit more heat in the cylinders because the cylinder walls are thinner. You know what I mean? So it's hard to say. All kinds of variables pop into it. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, he's got the factory fan shroud on it, and it's 26-inch, so it covers the whole radiator. Okay, you have a Buick. I don't know why I thought it was an Olds. Yeah, that's the problem. You gotta, because I mean, to really set the old cars up right, you gotta have the right condenser, and like Riley said, you gotta adjust the POA or because those pressure cycling, they sell those pressure cycling switches that replace the POA, and I heard that's no good for those A6 compressors. That's what I thought you did. For me, it was just easier to go back to R12 and be done with it instead of spending all the money on all the stuff. The other problem was I can't get my POA valve off the evaporator. It is just stuck. It is seized. And I tried and tried and tried, and I'm afraid I'm going to break the evaporator. So I was like, the hell with it. So I just left it on there because I was going to send that back to Old Air Products and have them adjust it for me or rebuild it or whatever. And then I was like, the heck with it. So then I started hunting for R12. So I just converted it back. I had 134 in it and it worked okay, but okay, yeah, that's the place I was thinking of, Benny. Yeah, Classic Auto Air. Yeah, in Florida, aren't they in Florida? Because that's where I was going to send it back to get it readjusted, but I can't get it off the evaporator, and I've tried and tried several times, and then I just finally said I'm going to break something, and I don't feel like tearing the big old suitcase out of there and putting an evaporator in it with an engine in it, so we went to the next best thing. We put the right stuff back in it, so which was probably one of the better things I did. Yeah, that's what I thought. So the system works good now. I don't have any issues in it. We charged it up with R12, put a new dryer on and charged it up, and away we went. I'm just happy that it blows cold air. That's a godsend in the freaking when it rains, so you can clear the windows. You can actually see where you're going. You probably getting the heat pretty good down there, Benny, down in Texas. Man, you guys are probably cooking. Yeah, so he's looking at and I have an ECP radiator in my Chevelle, and Tom's looking at one of those, Rich. They're actually pretty reasonable. They're made in Chicago. So he was checking those out. Yeah, I didn't want to add heat to it because I didn't want to melt the O-ring in it. Because I thought, well, it's probably sealed, so why, you know, tempt fate trying to heat it, melt the O-ring, and then it just leaks if we want to use it. So I never put any heat to it. I always just put the big wrenches and just tried to support the one so that the evaporator wouldn't move around, but it just didn't want to play. So we just said the heck with it and just left it on there, unfortunately. Because I tried several times to get that thing off of there. I don't know how many times I tried. Because you always got to try and support the one wrench because that's what the one's on the evaporator, and that's just moving around in the case. And then you're trying to yank on the other one to try and crack it loose, and it just had two people holding the evaporator wrench once, and we're trying to get it to go, and it wasn't happening. I could see bad things happening, so we just said, "The heck with it, quit." That's for sure. It's still, yeah, it works. There's no problems with it. So what's the sense in trying to take it off if there's nothing broken on it? Yeah, take a look at them. I'm happy with the radiator I got in my Chevelle. I mean, it's a nice piece and they're reasonable. I think Tom was saying the one they had for his car was 279 or something, which is pretty decent for an aluminum radiator. I don't know what Cold Case or any of those other places get. But I know when I talked to the guy, I actually called him because I wanted to get some information. Because like with those Be Cool radiators, you can't run a stock radiator cap. You got to run their special radiator cap on a Be Cool radiator. So I called ECP and I said to the guy, I said, well, can I run a factory radiator cap on it? He started laughing. He's like, well, yeah. I said, well, I'm asking because Be Cools you can't. And then he realized that I wasn't like being an idiot, that there's actually a purpose of why I asked. They told me it would support 600 horse with the one I have. So. Yeah, I can imagine. Well, the POA valve's steel, isn't it? And the evaporator's aluminum, so it probably just corrodes. You got those dissimilar metals there, and then you can't get nothing apart. It just seizes. Yeah, I can believe that. Yeah, you got the aluminum and steel because the nuts on the evaporator, I think, are even aluminum. Wow, really, Marty? Besides you? Why do you think your A body is so cool? Because it's black? I think my A body's cool because nobody knows what's under the hood. And it looks like a slow ass little 350 car. Okay. Yeah, but it's still on dissimilar metal. Yeah, he did, didn't he? The guy didn't question it. You got a cool car, Rich. You got two cool cars. Yeah, I can believe it, Benny. And after 50 some odd years, you're never getting that apart without heating the crap out of it. And then the problem is then you kind of anneal the aluminum and then you risk twisting the tube off. So you think Riley should put a tunnel ram on the Buick, Marty? Hack a hole in the hood of the Buick and put a tunnel ram on it with 2.4s with that 427. I think that'd be cool. Yeah, I know, and that's another reason I didn't want to screw it up. Plus, trying to get the suitcase out of there is just a nightmare. Taking the wheel well down and every damn thing else. Yeah, he's not feeling it, Rich. No, I'm talking about the Skylark. Well, the tunnel rim would probably look pretty good on the Electra. That'd be like a WTF type of thing. Now I'm talking about on the Skylark with the 427 in it. Slam a hole through the hood and put a tunnel ram on it. Big old black freaking land yacht with a tunnel ram. The Skylark's boring. It won't be boring if you have 2 carbs and a tunnel ram shoved up through the hood. Put some big freaking meats on the back and some obnoxious exhaust. I think the Skylark would be cool. Oh my God. It's a hard top. It's not even a pillar. How can you say such a thing? Because it doesn't have parking windshield wipers. You're not wrong. Yeah, but you still got to admit, if you put a tunnel ram on it, it'd still be pretty cool. Yes, he does, Benny. He hates two-door postcards for some strange reason. I don't know. I think his dad demented him, saying that postcards were just parts cars. I look at a postcard and I look at bare bones, no options, lightweight. God, really? Why didn't they make any convertible? Why you gotta be like that, Marty? Yeah, they are. Or T-tops. Well, technically, I mean, can you really consider like, now let's look at this. Some of us have standards. Wow. Your Cordoba is kind of technically a post car. You got the little back windows, and then you got a great big post, and it's T-top. So I would consider that kind of a post car. Coming from a guy who likes Cordobas. No, but look, do you hear what I just said, Benny? He's got a T-top Cordoba, and they have what? A big pillar and then a little window. So to me, that's a post car. The white Mustang's the coolest. A Camaro with opera windows. No, it has a post. You're in denial, buddy. What do you think, Benny? Would you consider the Cordoba a post car? I don't know, Rich. How about you? Do you think the Cordoba will be a post car? The Mustang could be considered a post car too, because it has a post between the front and back window. So wow, Marty, you own 2 post cars, buddy. I call that answer denial. Yes, by default. I wouldn't understand because your back windows are stuck up in. No, I fixed those. They actually roll down, so no, you can't say that. They do go down. I just don't roll them down. Back windows are stuck in the position. You're trying to tell me I need to roll my windows down? You still won't put them. No, I know. Well, in the Firebird, it's useless because the quarter window is only just a tiny thing. The Chevelle would be the one to roll the windows down on. Subconsciously. Well, we're having quite the debate here. Hey, did you get that Firebird I sent you, Marty? That yellowish gold thing? That Trans Am? I know I'm tempting you with more cars. I shouldn't be doing that. I shouldn't be sending you cars off the marketplace. Yes, they do. That stupid frame around the door glass. Subpar. Wow. No, Marty likes G bodies, but he likes those ones with the arrow back windows. That's a whole nother discussion with me and him. He likes those 2+2s with that swoopy back window. I think they look like hell. I don't like the Aero Coupe Monte Carlos either. I like the front end of the 2+2. I think they should have put that on a regular Grand Prix. But that's just me. I was never an Aero Coupe guy. Yeah, he's got a Cordoba. What year's your Cordoba, Marty? 79? Yeah, it's a 79 T-top car. You didn't know Marty was a Mopar guy, Rich. Shots fired. Yeah, he likes the Aero Coupes. Me, I'm not a fan. We have this argument all the time. He thinks I'm weird because I don't like the Aero Coupe. I don't know if he has any videos of it. Marty, you don't have any videos of the Cordoba, do you? I don't think you do. Oh, you do? So you got to go way back, Rich. Okay. Guy had a 79 Magnum on Marketplace, T-top car. And it was actually pretty nice looking, but you got two of them. One was a parts car, and then it was like a 2-for-1 deal. I don't remember what I think they wanted $5,000 for both of them, and one of them ran. I think they both ran. The other one was just rotted to pieces, but I bought my Cordoba before people thought they were cool. When are you going to start putting that thing together, Marty? God, you've been collecting parts for it for years. God, yeah, what was that? The 78 Oldsmobile? And then they made a 442 version of that thing. Oh my God, with the slant back. And they made those in the Skylarks too, didn't they? The Buick Skylarks had that same body style. God, those things were ugly. That freaking slant back. I remember some guys trying to sell one of those 442s one time. He was making a big deal about how it was only 6,000 of that car built. It's because nobody wanted it. It's so freaking ugly. Walked away. What? I don't know if Marty even knows what those things look like. You know what we're talking about, Marty? Those 78 Cutlass Salons with the slant back. He also made them in the Buick Century, I think, or Skylark or something. They were just ugly. I think 78, 79 maybe. Goofy looking. Should have made it a hatch. Well, they probably should have, because then they would have had a lot more room in the back of it, because the trunk was so small. It probably would have been a whole lot better, because in the Aero, or hell, in the Pontiac, you couldn't even hardly get a tire out of the trunk of that thing. It was so small. It would have been worthwhile to make it a hatch. Yeah, I'm not a fan of those either, Rich. They're pretty ugly looking. I don't even remember the last time I even saw one of those roam the earth. I'm sure they all returned themselves there. Yeah, tell me about it, Benny. That would be awesome. Put one of those on a regular Grand Prix. Yeah, the front end of those things is cool. I don't know why they didn't do that on the regular Grand Prix. That would have been so much nicer. It's a G body, Marty. It's a G body. Well, it was only made for what, 1 or 2 years, I think. I can't remember. Yeah, I'd like to combine the two more, Benny. That would be my thing. Take that 2+2 front end and put it on a regular Grand Prix. I think it'd look cool. But I don't know why they never did that in the first place. Yeah, but hey, it'd be different. And it'd have a trunk. It won't be a coin slot. You'll have a real trunk with the Grand Prix, with the regular Grand Prix. I actually like the 78 through what is it, 80 Grand Prix? The 81 to 87s, they're not bad, but they should have put that 2+2 on there. Why? What's wrong with the 78 through 80 Grand Prix? They're kind of spiffy looking. They're smaller. They're not a bad car. No, that's the fan on the computer, Marty. It's the grand version. Yeah, I don't know why the fan on this computer. So I guess because it's all built into it. Because it doesn't have a tower. I guess it just needs to keep it cool. So that's probably what you're hearing. Yeah, they had a cool dash in them. Guy had one for sale, and it was a special order car. Had no AC. It had dog dish hubcaps. It was $79, and the guy ordered it with a 4-speed and a 301 4-barrel and a posi rear. That'd be different, Benny. The Le Mans front ends weren't too bad looking. Didn't they make a Grand Am in that too? It had the swoopier bumper. I thought they did, but maybe they didn't. They were nice little cars. They were better looking than the Malibus. Yeah, that's what I thought. You always liked those Le Mans and Grand Ams. They looked better than the Malibus, the Chevy Malibus. Plus, they were a little bit more plush and fancier looking, but they had nicer looks. Oh, you're putting a Pontiac dash in your Monty. Yeah, the instrumentation's way better on those. Especially if you got a tack and gauge car. Yes, Marty, we have. Those were all Bonnevilles. Or no, those were they were those little short Le Mans 4-doors. Yeah, well, I can imagine. Use what you got, and it's going to fit because it's a G body, so. Marty's talking about the mass death of G bodies in Smokey and the Bandit 2. Yeah, I know. Well, it's like A bodies too. A lot of that stuff interchanges too, if you want to take the time to do it. G body galore. All getting smashed up, Marty. Yep, I know. But they're all 4-door Le Mans things, so none of them are 2-doors or sporty cars, so. Well, guys, I've been on 2 hours. I'm going to hop off because I'm tired and I got to go to work tomorrow. So I'm not sure who's all in here. But thanks for coming in, everybody. And I will talk to everybody later. Oops. And stream.